morning and welcome to another episode of Get in Shape with David. We've been covering self-defense movements of your Tai Chi form for the last few weeks. Today we're going to take a small break from that because I have a lot of clients and I see a lot of people who have issues with their ankles, and so I want to address that and hopefully help everybody with that. So this is going to be a two-part video. Please bear with me. So what I'd like you to do is stand in front of a mirror and pull your pants up enough to see your ankles. You should have a straight line between your hip, the knee, and the foot. Okay? You should have a nice vertical line from the hip, the knee, to the foot. A lot of people I see during the day, their ankles buckle. Either they buckle to the inside, which is pronation, or they buckle to the outside, and sometimes that'll give you a bow-legged look. But the idea is your ankles should not be buckling in either direction. So if you're one of those people who has been assessed or diagnosed with high arches, low arches, that's not really a truism. That's not really what happens here, right? So example, if my ankles supinate and they point to the outside, my inner arch, because you have two arches, one on the lateral side, one on the medial side, right? So if I bow to the outside, my medial arch is going to come up off the floor. That's where people are starting to tell you you have high arches. The problem is with the ankle, not the arch, and please be aware of that. Now, our connective tissue, after days, months, years of the same repetitive movements or postures through the course of our day, has a tendency to lock in place. That's where a lot of these deviations, if you will, come from, right? So if your ankles are tipping to the outside, that is supination, they're turning outward, right? It's going to put undue stress on your ankles, and that's, someone may assess that as you having high arches because that medial arch is off the floor. Same thing if we pronate. If our ankles collapse to the inside, right, it'll look like, if it's really over-exaggerated, it'll look like your knees are buckling, but what's happening, your ankles are rotating to the inside, right? Both of these ailments are easy to overcome. There are two very easy exercises I'm going to go over with you today to correct either shape of that ankle if it's supinated or pronated. The reason why we care about this is because if your ankle stays pronated or supinated long enough, it's going to put undue stress on the bottom of your foot or your knees and can continue up with hip pain and back pain and all this other stuff. So we want to correct that to keep you from having other pain and injuries down the road. So we want to stay injury-free. We want to be as mobile as possible. So two different exercises. This is, like I said, this is going to be a two-part video. The first part, inside your shoes, I want you to spread your toes out as much as you can and then push your big toe into the floor. When you do that, you'll notice that both arches now press more firmly into the floor. And let's try that again from the beginning. Make a mental note of where both arches of your feet press into the floor. If your ankles do that, you're going to notice one arch is going to be not pressing in as firmly as the other. Inside your shoes, spread your toes and push the big toe into the floor, and that will press both arches into the floor evenly. Make a mental note of what that feels like. That's part one. You're going to practice this exercise every day. It doesn't have to be for a long time. It could be just 2 or 3 minutes a day, but we need to practice this every day to retrain our feet. And now I'm going to show you the other part of that, which comes from having not enough mobility in our calves. And I'm going to get the foam roller out in just a minute. I'm going to show you how to foam roll your calves. If you practice that exercise every day in your shoes and foam roll your calves every day, over time you're going to release that imbalance and you are going to realign your ankles. Okay? Thank you for watching, and I'm going to prep for the second video.